Damage is king, and having that 2, 3, or 4K badge is something everybody loves to have. But these are big achievements for a lot of players, and it's for a good reason. It's really hard to do a lot of damage in your games. What's up guys, it's Valued, and today I'm gonna make reaching these milestones easy for you, outlining the best practices for dealing huge damage in all your games. And I'm gonna cover some big tips that can help you get the most damage out of every kill. But all right, I know you want to get back to the grind, so let's get right into it. Where better to start than the beginning of your game? Most players think you need to be hot dropping if you ever want a chance to hit these high damage thresholds. This will definitely help, but you should look at this a bit more dynamically than just hot dropping. If you just drop to the hottest spot, the chances of you making it out alive are slim, even if you're playing out of your mind. Now, if you have the confidence and you're willing to reset over and over again until one of these drops goes perfectly, then feel free to give this a shot. However, I really like to go for quality games while still going for big damage, and this has led to me finding more success in a lot of my games. Rather than just blindly landing hot, free look around and pay attention to where most of the squads in the game are going. Look to be in the same area of the map as them, as well as still having good early loot opportunities. Looking to drop the no more than 1 or 2 enemy squads, but really close to other squads is the best way to go, giving you a solid chance of beating out that squad, having decent guns, and an immediate position to get involved in those already going on fights nearby. Dropping in the same section of the map as most of the squads in the game is the most important part of the process, as dropping too safe is going to make getting that 3 or 4K damage almost impossible. So rather than hot dropping on 4 squads and dying most of your games off the rip, find a happy medium, get stabilized a bit, and then keep up that aggression all game long. Speaking of keeping up the aggression, this is a must to get these high damage games. If you're playing Ring non-stop or dropping super safe and spending a bunch of time looting, there are going to be a ton of squads that just die before you have a chance to get into a fight with them. You're likely going to have to kill a good number of squads to come out of your game with really high damage. So if you aren't getting into a fight until half the lobby's dead, it's going to be tough. Be sure you're dropping near the action like I just said, and when you do finish a fight, get to moving. You should be looking to third every fight you hear, poke every enemy you see, and get involved at every single stage of the game. Remember guys, your goal in these games is to get 2, 3, or even 4K damage, so you're gonna have to play a little bit more aggressively than you might be used to. So get that squad wiped, loot their boxes really quick, and get moving to the next fight as fast as possible. Now, while you need to be playing aggressively to get high damage, if you die, then your damage journey is officially over. These high damage games are much easier if you're surviving the entire game, getting the max amount of time and encounters to deal damage. This is an aspect of high damage games that most players overlook. You should be staying aggressive and on the prowl for any fight you can find, but that doesn't mean putting yourself into spots where you're likely to die. I'm not saying you should play safe, but you still need to have your survival as one of your main priorities while you're dominating the lobby. Don't let your third-party tactics go out the window with you running into a fight before anyone goes down and just trying to bully both teams. Remain patient, but just make sure you're making quick decisions and capitalizing as soon as any window's open for you to get involved in a fight. And whether you're trying to become the type of player who picks up 2K damage every game, or you're just trying to reach that next ranked milestone, make sure to check out ProGuides.com. There, you can receive the best coaching on the market from some of the best players in the world who have overcome the exact same issues that you're having on a daily basis. There's no better way to learn quickly than to get those one-on-one, hands-on experiences with a top player, and there's no better time to do it than now. Make sure to check out the top link in the description below. Alright guys, so another thing most players don't properly consider when going for these games is their legend choice. While you definitely can get a 4K badge on any legend, if you're having a hard time getting a single one, make sure you're using a legend with high mobility. From getting to fights quickly to navigating them effectively, the more mobility you have in your kit, the easier time you will have. You want to make sure you take care of yourself, making sure you're able to effectively play your life like I just discussed. There's a good reason why you see all the streamers stomping lobbies on Wraith, Path, and Octane. It's because they're really good at staying alive while still playing aggressively in fights. If you're running a more defensive legend like Caustic or Watson, you're really relying on enemies to push you to get the most out of your legend, which is a bad tactic for high kill games. Instead, picks like Wraith, Octane, Ashe, Pathfinder, and Valkyrie are great examples of legends with high mobility with the ability to get out of a bad situation. It's important that you're on a legend with high agency like this so you can make the most out of all the tools you have available. Being able to phase out and find cover as Wraith or grapple your way behind cover quickly with Pathfinder will have you performing so much better in your fights. Take the time to analyze which legend you're the best at that also provides mobility and survivability to allow you to pop off. Alongside your legend choice, we've got to chat about your weapon choice. The easiest way to pad damage in a low-risk way is to utilize long-range weapons like the Charge Rifle. The Charge Rifle can hit shots from any range, and this can allow you to third-party fights or even just poke an enemy squad. Remember, you're still going for big damage here, so even if they heal it up or you don't get the knock, you're still getting that stat you're shooting for. This type of weapon choice can really help you out if you're not too confident using a shotgun or you just need help getting damage in fights you don't feel safe committing to. Make sure you aren't tunneling on these long-range shots though, because they can be a really easy way to get caught off guard by a squad nearby. This is why it's important to not fully rely on this method for you to reach your damage goal. While it's a nice way to pad the stats, you're definitely going to need to win some fights, and being ready to beam with an automatic weapon is a must. Personally, I really like pairing a Charge Rifle with an R99, allowing me to use the charge as chunk damage at longer ranges and pulling out the R99 to zap anyone that gets too close. Make sure to try out some different weapon combos, but make sure you're building a solid loadout that's made to do damage from a safe distance. Now, let's go over a couple of the cheeky tips that I know some of you guys are looking for to get the most damage out of every kill. One massive way to do this is to make sure you're thirsting your downs. By finishing off opponents, you're potentially getting 100 extra damage per kill, something that you totally miss out on if you just clean wipe the team without any thirsts. Now, this is a bit cheesy, but it's a huge way players can bump up their damage numbers in a game. Another big benefit of this is it gives you immediate access to a shield swap, something you're gonna want to be doing constantly while you're staying in prolonged fights and getting as much damage as you can. This damage counts whether you perform a finisher or use your weapon, but make sure you aren't getting killed in a finisher animation. If you see an enemy that's downed, whether you killed them or not, look to finish them off for that free 100 damage pad. And finally, this last tip becomes really important when you're looking to push those 3 and 4K numbers. While you're looking to win your fight so that the enemies don't kill you, if you have the ability to extend the fight by letting enemies heal, do it. I can't tell you guys how many times I've been in a game almost at a 4K damage badge and I'm on the last squad and I need them to heal. It's a big tip that you guys should try to do if you're pushing for badges. Now, keep in mind this can be a bit dangerous because you don't want another squad rolling up while you're facing off against another team. But milking damage on one squad can be a huge bump to your overall numbers. Let's say, for example, you're using the Charge Rifle and an enemy keeps healing and re-peeking you. Well, if you're confident you don't have another team coming up on you, keep hitting that player and let them heal. If done correctly, you can farm an absolute ton of damage off of enemies as they blow through their heals, and this can greatly decrease how many squads you have to fight to reach your damage numbers. These types of plays should be where your mind is if you're truly going for those huge numbers. You should be thinking, how can I get as much damage as possible on the players right in front of me? Instead of, how do I kill these players as fast as possible? These are two different mindsets that can have a big impact on how easily you get high damage numbers. Alrighty guys, and that's gonna do it. If you're looking to deal more damage and finally get the badge you've been hunting for, the tips I went over today will absolutely set you on the right path. Let me know in the comments which of these tips was your favorite, or if you have a special piece of advice for your fellow grinders that has helped you deal high damage. Anyway guys, as always, it's been your boy Valued. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one.